Happy Tuesday.
We freeze.
I thought you were going to go first. I didn't want to cut them off.
We just wanted to make you think that we froze for a minute. I'm going to knock this damn thing right off. Okay, so today is actually the 11th, and it is, if we went based on days, it would be National
Cherish Your Antique Day.
No, that's the 9th.
Oh,
today's the 11th, and we would have been, but we're going to do Cherish Your Antique Day. That's what we're going to be talking about. But today is actually National
8-track
Day. But we already did 8-tracks when we did, we talked about 8-tracks when we did records and music. And 8-tracks, how much can you say about them?
I know.
So on the 9th was National Cherish Your Antique Day. And we thought that's something that we should talk about anyways because it's an antique store.
It's mandatory, you know, it's mandatory.
It is. And the 9th was the day before Easter, and it was our big Easter egg sale, which we're doing differently next year. And Easter Sunday.
Yep.
So today we will be talking about Cherish Your Antique Day.
Yep.
And, you know, so I did a, hello, who's up there? Oh, Jasmine, you are the only one following us.
Oh, let's give us some hearts.
No kidding, where is everybody? Oh, it's only 29. But they should have been notified. You should have been notified. Oh, look at all the hearts. It's you giving them to me. That's hilarious.
Which is good because it'll bump it to the top.
It will.
I'm going to send this out to a few people who stand right here.
Oh, you can do that? I didn't know you could do that.
Heck yeah.
Oh. So anyways, Cherish Your Antique Day is actually a day in which you should cherish the antiques that pass down through your family.
Yes, and if you're a person who has a bunch of antiques and you have no idea if you're storing them correctly, then stay tuned because we'll be telling you.
Also, antique, 100 years.
So the misconstrued is that everybody, when they see something that's older, is that it's automatically an antique. And the difference is that, please correct me if I am wrong, an antique is 100 years or older.
It is correct.
And vintage is 20 years or less.
20 years or older.
20 years or older, okay.
Retro would be current.
Hey, Patty.
Retro would be current in the vein of old.
Okay.
Okay. So, antique 100 years or more. Hi, Mom. So, antiques 100 years or more, and we're going to be talking about antiques, things that are 100 years and more, and cherishing your antiques. Now, I know a lot of people are running into that problem that their kids don't want to keep stuff.
Which, I mean, is very understandable. You have too much going on, and you have little knowledge about it, and it can be very overwhelming for somebody who has no idea what they're looking at.
This is true. And, you know, an antique can be, it doesn't have to be like that chest.
Right.
Or the huge table, or the dining room set, the bedroom set, stuff like that. It can be as small as a feather duster, or as a feather duster, or as small as a little vase, or anything small.
And I'm also I want to put I want to just clear the air that not everything that's antique is patina. There's things that have expensive, exactly. There's a lot of vintage things that have their own original color, that might have their own original slip. It might not be 100%, but not everything has patina on it. If you take care of it correctly, then you will also totally eliminate that from even happening.
Unless it's copper.
Yes.
Copper patinas, and you want it to patina because
Steve, I think you're on the Time Warp page.
Yes, you are, Steve. So if you can try and switch that over, or keep saying on the Time Warp page, I don't care. That way more people on Time Warp sees it.
Yeah, literally.
So actually stay on Time Warp if you want. The patina is technically related to copper because copper changes color in oxidizes.
So what is the exact term for patina, and what is that for a person who doesn't know?
Patina would be for metals patina. Whereas a lot of people look at things that aren't metal and, you know, a little like cleaning, a little age discolorization will happen, stuff like that. So if you're dealing with paper, age discolorization will happen unless you're storing it correctly.
Sure.
You know, putting it between vellum.
Okay, yes, and I just found out what vellum was today earlier.
So, you know, or putting it inside of a air-controlled area.
Sure.
Because, you know, sun is the most damaging thing.
That could cause warping, discoloration, it could cause it to smell.
It can. You know, and then anything in the air. Paper is porous, so it'll
absorb everything.
Speaking of paper, we're going to be talking about something that was from the 1889, and this is the 4th printing of Uncle Tom's Cabin. And this is from 1889 and the fourth printing, because the original printing of this was done in this probably early 1800s, if not late 1700s. But look at the condition of this. Hold it up there for a second.
There's a page that I want to... Actually, I'll do it this way.
Yep. So, and I know you want to show stuff, but let me show you condition here. So when you look at it, you're going to see here, right? You see the cracking?
The spine.
The spine. Now this is from it being opened and closed and opened and closed and opened and closed. Because you got to remember, this book is 134 years old.
Which is just insane. Look at the color on the cover. It's still just as green.
This book is 134 years old, and it has survived to be in my hands and your hands today. So, taking care of your antiques, because books are antiques.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is where the paper comes involved. Now, you can't slide vellum through each one of these pages, right?
But what can you do to try to help that?
Keep it in an air-controlled room.
Sure.
Keep it out of sunlight. First and foremost, keep it out of sunlight. Because sunlight is the most dangerous thing you can do for paper and books and stuff. So, and I know there's something in there that you wanted to discuss.
It's
because
just so cool.
This is a, I asked her if she'd read this before or known what this book was, and she has heard the term, but she did not know what the book was.
But then also, Jason, I have another question, which
Yeah.
is why I wanted to open it to this page.
This is a vellum type page that they put in between. So back then they would put these in between to protect the art cover, because a lot of this stuff was hand drawn to begin with.
Sure.
So this was put between to cover, because you see this.
So there was no ink transfer from the cover photo.
Yeah, because it would have ink transferred over to this page. Oh, you guys can't see it. Because if this did not have this in it right here, this right here when it was first printed would have just, if not stuck to, it would have left ink marks. Yeah. So, and in 1800 they had the forethought to do that, which is really good. And as you go through a lot of this is probably the only actual colored a
vellum page.
No, the only actual illustration on here.
Sure. Which is
because
why
the rest of this wouldn't be illustrated. But old antique books like bird books, which are big back then, stuff like that are all video or that are all pictured, will have a vellum between each page.
Okay.
And what to keep it from
notification break.
What did it say?
That notification wasn't for me, that was for you, but we just have some new viewers.
Oh, okay. Well, hello everybody. Okay, so anyway, so that's what these are for. And when I talk about doing vellum on regular paper outside of books, is to keep it, vellum is good for having air flow through it, but yet keeping harmful rays, harmful things out of it.
And also to prevent ink transfer and little things like that.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So the fact that this book by Harriet Beecher Stowe was is still here, and I'm holding it and it's not falling apart. The pages have yellowed.
Barely.
They have barely yellowed. Now the spine is cracked a little bit, and that does affect value. And you want to try not to crack the spine at all on these, because cracking the spine can lead to lost pages. Mm-hmm. So if the spine is cracked, then you just want to be more careful with it.
For sure.
And there are places where you can have the spine reattached, but it can be costly.
Oh, for sure, especially with a book that's 136 years old.
But there's John King downtown Detroit, and each big city has someplace. But if this is a family heirloom, something that was passed down from, like, let's say grandma or great grandma, got this at the first printing or the second printing,
which would be awesome.
Then it would be worth having the spine fixed.
Oh, absolutely.
Because then it's going to go down another 100 years in the family.
Which would be so cool if you really think about it. Imagine how cool that book is going to look another 136 years from now.
Absolutely. So when you care for your books, remember you want to store them either flat or up.
Okay.
If you have dust jackets on your books, then what you might want to do is remove the dust jacket, okay, and put it inside the book. If they're going to be stored without, a lot of people like the dust jacket showing, which is fine. Because I'm going to tell you, a vintage or antique book, the dust jacket's going to be half the value. Mm-hmm. Okay? Almost half the value. So you want to make sure that you keep it in good condition. So what a lot of people I've seen do is take the dust jacket off the book and either put it inside the book or have another place for it. So that way no chipping along the edges will happen, stuff like that. And then when you take the book out and you either go to sell it or you have it appraised or you do whatever, you just put the dust cover back on.
Cool. Noted.
Okay.
So much knowledge about books.
Well, I got a lot of that from Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
So, feather dusters.
I know I keep holding these things like a bouquet of flowers, but I can't help it. They're so cool.
Okay, so a couple of things. I want to show you close up these feather dusters, and I want to, and I'm talking about feather dusters for a reason. Look at the feathers on here, right? These feathers. Now, these feather dusters come from the late 1800s.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is a long time ago.
Right, and it would be the mostly a feather duster of this magnitude would be held in a house of influence. So this would be the probably the maid or the housekeeper would keep these.
This one's labeled with utility janitor.
Oh, this one's from a school then.
And is Brightway, is that a brand?
Brightway could be a band. Remember, back then with advertising, they wrapped it around anything.
Sure.
Because we did not have the internet or anything back then, so the
Word of
best
mouth
way
was
to
where
get
it
it
is.
inside of somebody's face, get it in front of somebody's face is the things they use
Every day. Heck yeah.
So, feather dusters, the reason we know that these are late 1800 feather dusters, or earlier,
is because
of the feathers that are in them. So these are turkey feathers, and turkey feathers were used up until 1902. And they were discarded turkey feathers, so as the turkeys played out in the yard, people would go pick them up. Yep, so they never hurt a turkey. In 1902, they switched to ostrich feathers.
Are these ostrich feathers?
No, these are turkey.
Okay.
Both are turkey feathers, so that's why we know discarded turkey feathers. That's why I was holding the feathers up close to you. So when you see a feather duster like so, it is a turkey feather duster. When you see now we all know what ostrich feathers look like. They're really fluffy.
Heck yeah,
plumed.
they're huge.
They're huge. Those you can get antique ones because we're in 2022, 2023. So technically 1923 is 100 years. So, so my grandmother was born in 1911.
That's awesome.
So that means she would be 110?
That would be sick.
112. That's crazy. But, so that's why I brought these out, because they are antiques. And something like this, even though it's a domestic use of feather duster, and I'm going to be honest with you today, I do not use dusters.
I don't use a duster that looks like this.
I don't use a duster at all.
I use just like a microfiber cloth.
The microfiber cloth, or you use Windex and paper towel or whatever, because all this does
it just scatters
around your dust.
And then I'm sneezing.
So then guess what? This is a way of keeping people working, right?
Yeah,
Back
literally.
then, you use a feather duster because guess what? When it settles, it's dirty again, so you'll have to clean it again. It's like when you take a bath and you get out of the bath and you say, okay, I'm clean now. Think about it. It's like this. You just washed everything off from you, and then you pulled your body out of that same water from that machine.
So you've just been sitting
of all that stuff you just washed off.
Yep, for 40 minutes. Yep.
So you're clean when you rinse off or take a shower.
Literally.
So that's why the feather dusters.
I love that. I love the feather dusters.
And they're cool. So they're great for for if you're doing a cosplay event.
Oh yeah.
Because if you think about it. And maybe not antique, you could use a vintage duster if you're going to be,
like a maid.
Or you're going to be, I forgot her name from Rocky Horror Picture Show, Magenta. Or if you're going to be Magenta, she walked around with feather duster.
Yeah. It's been a long time
they're great for that because what they are not great for is cleaning.
And also if you are like remodeling your laundry room, or maybe you just need a few extra things to hang up in your laundry room, this would be perfect. Cats, though. Yeah, literally, because they'll go crazy for it.
They'll go nuts over this. So, feather dusters, that's one. And the reason I'm bringing up some of these feather dusters and stuff, even though they're kind of unique and stuff, this goes right along with the utilitarian.
This is my favorite thing right here.
I think it's so awesome that they survived.
Yeah, no, honestly.
So you have a feather duster that was used constantly back then. Constantly,
This was
probably.
a staple in people's houses.
A staple, absolutely. And I am holding it 100 years later.
Yeah. Heck yeah, we got this one.
So we care for it, even the mundane stuff. So who knows what I'm holding up here? Who can tell me what I'm holding up?
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments. I will come back to you in a minute. What is this? used for.
Come on, there's 7 of you. I know which one of you know what it is.
I know, there's only 7. We seem low tonight. But anyways, there are 6 of you now, because apparently somebody didn't know.
Oh.
So anyways, what is this? Put it in the comments. Let us know. It's not bugs.
But you do have the right thought process of whacking it around.
So I will be back to find out if you guys know what this is.
Steve,
don't write what it is. Okay, Danielle.
Oh,
yes.
Danielle.
It is for rugs. This is for beating the crap out of your rugs.
Which, I mean, you know the frustrating moment when you pick up your throw rug in your kitchen, you got to stand outside and shake it for 20 minutes?
So these are also very good for aggression. And I say that because when you get home from that day of working retail, or you get home from that day of driving around and just want to go nuts because of how everybody drives, your best way of getting rid of that aggression is throw your rugs outside, take one of these, and beat the crap out of it. That's what I would do.
You get it significantly cleaner, huh?
So now these are going to fly out the store.
Literally. I think that's our only one, too.
Isn't that hilarious? No, we have one. Oh, well, we have a little tiny one up there. So anyways, this is a rug beater. Before vacuums, hello. And vacuums is spelled with what? Did you know?
With 2 U's.
2 U's!
That is a word that I will forever despise because I can never spell it correctly no matter how hard I try.
So, who vacuums? You do. So there's 2 U's.
2 U's, yep.
So anyways, rug beater. Great aggression tool.
Heck yeah.
And this is only for beating rugs, people. Not people. Rugs, people. So to clean your rugs. Before vacuums, you use those.
Sorry if our viewers see my pondered face. I grabbed my water bottle and set it right next down to Jason's, and then I had to remember whose was whose. So in the background, they're probably laughing because I was
Do you have a did you know?
I do have a did you know.
What's your did you know?
My did you know is...
I got some other cool stuff. Those of you who are not jumping on tonight are going to be sad.
I know you're missing out today, David. He's got some juicy did you know facts. So make sure you have your ears and eyes
Yes,
open.
because David, one of my did you knows is about Harry Potter.
I know. And I don't even think you knew that one. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, you ready? Did you know that the ridges on the ends of all of our coins have meanings, and that on the dime that there's 118 ridges, on a quarter there's 119, 150 on a $50, and 198 on a whole dollar coin? Why? Because ridges were meant to prevent clipping, because there's a trace amount of silver in all coins, and this was preventing people from clipping them and trying to sell them for scraps.
It's, I believe, illegal to do that.
It is, because you're defacing money.
Yeah, even though we sell coin jewelry.
Literally.
So anyways, one of my did you knows, and I will do the Harry Potter.
Yes.
But I need my paperwork.
And where's it at?
It's the yellow one. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Okay, so I'm going to try and remember from memory. So, did you know that during the filming of Harry Potter, the very first one, the Sword and the Stone?
Sorcerer's Stone?
Sorcerer's Stone.
I think that's what it is.
I mean, we're talking vintage way back then.
Yeah.
Did you know during the filming of the Harry Potter, the first one, that Harry Potter himself went through 70 wands? 70.
70.
70. And 160 pairs of glasses.
Imagine.
So I don't know why you would have to go through 160 pairs of glasses, but it was even astounding was for the entire series that they did, all 7 movies, they went through 490 Slytherin necklaces, the pendant necklace, because they kept losing
them. Now
they kept losing them. So I don't know. If I were the director, I'd be like, okay, inventory.
Right, literally checking it off every single time. Like, right? Who's pocketing these Slytherin necklaces?
Like, for the first 3 films, they had to redo the pictures going up the staircase in Hogwarts and there was 250 pictures, movable pictures, that they had to replace 3 different times because they kept getting rid of them because they didn't realize that they were going to need them for the next movie.
Which, I mean, like, you would think that the cast kind of sat down and was like, okay, well, we're going to need to recreate this scene. Where's that roll of footage? And they're just like, dude, we threw it out.
But you want to know what's funny is when we do provide merchandise to movies, when we do what?
Steve, you commented that they're on eBay. What's on eBay?
What's on eBay? Oh, he's doing two things at once, so he'll be back to.
Okay.
The wands. They must be talking about the wands. As we're talking, we're looking. So, I forgot what I was going to say.
We're talking about the photos on the staircase.
Okay, yep, I already said that. Okay, so that was my Harry Potter stuff. So, which I thought was interesting. So let me show you this, because you got a kick out of this.
Yes.
All right. So this little thing here, and it's unique, right? Look at this thing. It's like, it looks like the top of something, right? Cat people making money of those wands.
So Steve said all the missing props are on eBay, and then Danielle said cast people making money off the broken props.
Yes, cast. Oh, probably. But there is a ton of cast stuff on eBay. Yeah,
David.
Oh, well, you might as well just move out of your house.
Literally, he's gonna buy it all. David said Ron also took a few props himself that he's brought up in interviews.
Oh yeah, well, if you're on it, you should be able.
You're entitled. Yeah. I feel like.
But the stuff that's selling now. But anyways, let's talk about this, shall we? Who knows what this is? Can anybody tell me what this is? What is this?
And when he explains it, David, don't say we need one, because we don't.
So, can anybody tell me what this is? Anyone? All right. So, what do we have there? David, oil burner. Close, but no cigar. So.
Ashtray? Nope. And it's not
mouse trap. I love that one.
Oh, we have a lot of people. Lantern? No, you guys are
it's not a lantern. You're good. You're good. You're getting there. Okay, let me give you a hint. So this is something that the lady of the house would use in the morning.
And it also
it's antique and it's old. So.
And what would you put this on? Like if you were to take this utensil and in order for it to work, what did you need to add to this? What was the secondary part of this utensil?
Okay, so one of the main things, I'm going to give you a major hint right now, is bread. Okay, so I'm going to tell you now what this is. This is a toaster, an antique toaster. Okay, and so how many people are going to go?
David, you're getting there.
What did he say?
Like some type of gas stove attachment.
Kind of. It's a toaster, yes. It is a toaster, and you see these little knobs here that are on the side, right? You see those? So you would set your slice of bread here, right? On all four sides. So you have 4 slices of bread. You'd set this on your, probably back then it would be your stove, your gas stove, your wood burning gas stove.
Right.
And the heat would come up and you see it places it a little bit away. If you look here, it places it a little bit away from the holes here. Right?
Because you can't have a
David.
With no. I told you! Didn't I tell you he was going to say that?
And so the heat goes up and it toasts the inside. Then you just flip it around and there, boom, you have toast. So this is an old toaster. So, which is pretty cool. And this, probably, Steve, if you can tell me maybe, when do you think this one is from? What year? Do you think that this would be turn of the 20th century? Do you think it would be in the 1800s? Or older or newer? I grabbed it because of the fact that it looks older to me. So we will see what he says when he comes back. This is a creme de la creme.
Literally.
Okay. This right here, and it's funny because I took a picture of this earlier and it looked like it was tall.
Oh, sorry you guys.
No.
It's handheld.
This is a small table lighter, Victorian table lighter, kind of. Look at this thing. Isn't that gorgeous?
And Steve
I wish.
said that toaster's 1920s to 30s.
1920s to 30s. Yep. Still sticks it into the antique.
Heck yeah.
Because if it's 1920, 21...
It's 100 years.
It's 100 years. So we're close enough on that one. Okay. So here we have a Victorian looking, but an antique lighter. Table lighter, people, because, it was all about sitting around smoking cigarettes.
Literally, that's it.
And stuff like that. And during this time with this antique lighter, it would be hand rolled because it would be pre-manufactured probably until, or because of how fabulous it is, it's probably in a more higher end home.
Oh, absolutely.
So they would have had probably pre-rolled cigarettes.
Sure.
But no filters. But anyways, look at this. It is missing the little dome right there. But when you come across something of this magnitude, which is just absolute. I mean, look at the detail on that. Isn't that gorgeous?
The craftsmanship.
Look at that. And you could probably have it redone or just turned into a fairy light.
Oh yeah, literally.
Which would work. But this right here tells me, this explains everything of this time frame to me because it's just so elegant.
And what is this actually supposed to be?
It's a table lighter.
No, I know that it's a table lighter, but what is it referenced as?
Well, it's probably garden art.
A lamp.
Type. Oh, I see what you're saying. It is a lamp. It would be like for the garden, a tall lamp. You know what I mean? But the light would be in here, but then there'd be the dome over the top.
Yep.
But this I had to show because this, caring for your antiques. Now, I can't say what this individual thing's lifespan was like, but we lost the top, right? Sure. But when you're 100 years old, you're going to have some bumps and bruises and scrapes.
Yeah. You got to show your journey along the way.
So, instead of tossing it, teens to 1920. So we're still talking, I mean, the teens, that is that's pre Art Deco.
Literally. And speaking of that, should we bring out the other? Should I display the beautiful babies in the back where you can talk about?
Oh yeah, that's fine. I know what you're talking about because you were like this. The beautiful babies.
And you're like, what is that? What are you talking about?
So, care for your stuff is important because somebody cared for this even though they lost the top part of it.
It still looks great.
It's still beautiful. All right. Now these are fantastic.
I'm gonna give you this one.
Okay.
The shade.
Now I took pictures of these and a lot of you have seen these. These were from a house Steve got to go into, which was a very, very old home. Dating back to the 1800s here in Indian Village. Now the top comes off. Isn't that cool? Now, we thought that these might be the original paper shades, right? But we believe that they have been replaced. But during the time, or a couple of years after, because the originals would probably have had a pattern like floral or something, but they would have been paper. You know what I mean? They would have been paper shades. I mean, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, one of the things, these were taken care of, even though they replaced them and we have a little bit of discolorization on the paper and such. But I do have the pair. Yep. And as you can see.
So some of you are probably like, how did they get the shades to really stay in place? Especially because the top also has the paper shades as well. It has these really nice, beautiful brackets, which honestly, they're all still there.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy to me. And you would just kind of lift these up, kind of like a binder clip. And then Steve said hand-painted paper.
Hand-painted paper.
Yep, like floral and stuff.
Now, there is a good chance that these were in the window and the design could have faded off.
Faded, for sure.
But I doubt it because I don't see any reminiscence. But when we're talking about care and use of your antiques, there is a major, major thing that I need to talk to you guys about when it comes to electrical wiring.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about antiques. So we're talking about things that were wired pre-1950. So we're talking about things that were wired in the teens, in the 20s, and the stuff like that. So depending upon those wires would be next to impossible.
And do you know...
Don't do it.
What?
Don't do it. Don't depend on those wires.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you see the cloth?
Why?
You will have to have these rewired.
Why were wires covered in fabric?
I would have to do a little bit more research. Steve, if I'm incorrect, please let us know. Please let me know. But we did not have a lot of use for plastic back then, and what was plastic was used for higher end things.
So are the wires just being protected by that woven overlay?
There's a woven overlay with cloth covers.
Okay, gotcha.
So these have a woven overlay, and then cloth. It's still, we're talking cloth underneath the woven overlay.
And another thing I
Okay, so you want to get these rewired. You do not want to use them this way.
They don't have an on and off switch.
No, because what you do...
Wait, is this it?
Actually, it's right here.
Oh, it does. Okay, I see that.
It's right here.
Very small.
Well, no, it hides because it was supposed to be very sleek and...
Minimalistic. Okay,
minimalistic,
sure.
yeah.
Sure.
So here's your on and off switch right here underneath.
He said the pair was made for a buffet or a dresser.
Yep, a buffet or a dresser. So they would have sat at on either end of the dresser or either end of the buffet.
Beautiful.
And for light. And again, we're talking the early 1900s on these. So electricity was still not in every home. And it was mostly the influential that would have the electricity wired in their home. So these would have come from somebody's house that, had a ton of money. So what?
I just love Steve. He has like every little baby detail down to a T.
Acorn poles.
Yeah, and they literally are little tiny acorns.
See, we probably should have asked him to attend during this because
Steve, you would have
he has the knowledge.
Facts,
but him talking from home is today's his day off. So, anyway, so another thing I want to talk about is this. Okay, this is for collars. All right, so you see this beautiful box. Hey, Nikki, you see this beautiful box right here. So you're going to be surprised to know that this box, the only thing this box holds, are collars that go in men's shirts.
Nice.
Because back then, when you put the collar would have to be like pristine, right? Because back then everything was, when you left the house, you was pressed, everything.
In your pants.
So this would hold your collar.
Nice.
Okay, so this would hold your collar so that it stayed in shape. Now, this is not a Nehru, so it's not, Nehru is the priest collar.
Okay.
This is for any collar.
Okay.
But I'm sure that like priests and stuff would keep their Nehrus in here.
Were you able to put bow ties in the same box, or was there a special box for those? Oh, literally just for, okay, gotcha.
Just for them. They had all different sizes. These are cuffs for your arms.
Nice. Okay, I see.
So they would be for your cuffs.
So is this like
It would hold all the things to either keep your shirts while not wearing them they would keep them completely wrinkle-free, or while you were wearing them.
So is this kind of like the thing you wrap it around?
Yeah.
Okay,
this
gotcha.
would be for the cuff.
Gotcha, gotcha. I was very confused.
These were, because, back then, when you bought a shirt, that was the shirt you wore.
Yeah, that's your go-to number one.
Well, yeah, because most people back then only had maybe a total of 5 outfits.
And
total.
They didn't have 25 dress shirts just for an occasion.
If they had 5. So they had to make sure that each one of those stayed in pristine value. What does he say?
He said when laundering was expensive, collars and cuffs were detachable to freshen up dirty parts and to get a few days of wear.
There you go. So that's perfect. So, but this box, good luck finding something like this.
Honestly, that fits perfectly.
Maybe
like
if you are in some high-end boutique in New York City.
For like $200.
$200, try $2,000.
Yeah, $200 just for the box.
Yeah. $2,000 would be, a half a day's rent in New York. And then I'm going to talk about this next. So this is cool.
This is probably like one. I love typewriters, but this is the coolest.
I'm going to lower this a little bit because I can't lift that.
Do you want me to lift it for you?
Honey, you're not lifting that.
It looks kind of heavy. Oh yeah, they ain't budging.
Can you tell me when you can see it? Perfect.
Hey guys, you guys get to see the whole fit today.
Let me suck my stomach in as I come over. Let me suck my... Oh! Can you see me at all?
Yes, I can see you.
All right, so isn't this fantastic? Isn't this fantastic?
It's beautiful.
So I'm gonna bring this forward and show it closer up. Can you guys see it okay? Because it is a very cool piece.
You can always peek at my phone here. It is. Steve said, thing is every man had a collar box on his dresser, yet how sewing survived.
This is the first one I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so this is called a batwing.
And why is it called a batwing?
All right, right here. Oh, good. I can't see it pretty good. So this is called a batwing typewriter, and it's from the turn of the century, the 20th century. And for a lot of you who don't know, when we're talking about the 1900s, that's the 20th century.
Okay.
When we're talking about the 1800s, that's the 19th century.
Okay.
Because what it is it's coming up to the 19th century. So if somebody refers to something as the 17th century, what century is that?
Crap.
It'd be the 16th.
16th century. Okay.
No,
gotcha.
it would be the 1600s, the 17th century. It's always because we're in the 21st century right now.
Okay,
and
that
we're
makes sense.
20.
That makes sense. Okay, understood.
Okay, so when I refer to the century, I'm meaning the decade before, or the century before. Okay, so this is a batwing, so it's turn of the early 20th century, the early 1900s. And the difference about this is when you type on it, look,
Like
they go sideways.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but instead of the letters punching forward, they punch.
All right, I am going to lift it.
Here.
Oh my God.
Are you sure you got it?
Yep, I got it. Okay, so when you see it here and you punch it, do you see how they go sideways? There's nothing along the back. They come down sideways. It's called the bat wing. And, all right, that's good. Thank you.
Yes.
So it's... All right, so it's called a bat wing. It's an Oliver typewriter. And Oliver typewriters are expensive, and they are some of the best. Okay, that's still the color.
So what is this patent label on the back?
So the patent label is different parts of this that were patented.
Oh, what?
Okay, because back then this was a computer for the most part. Because you have a bunch of different things in here, and she's referring to the patent in the back.
Which is just a black label?
Just a black label. I don't know if you can see it here and here.
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay, and it shows all the patent and the patent dates. And if you take a look at it, the first patent starts in 1894.
Oh, dang, I didn't even know. I thought these were just quadruples of each other. No. That's crazy.
The first patent is 1894. The last patent is 1913.
That's crazy, and that's...
So this has to be 1913 because, or no, it could have been made a little bit beforehand, but the pieces in it that were patented, and we're talking... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
A lot of obsolete tech or designs that were never caught are very collectible. Heck yeah, Steve. Especially something like this. I've never heard or seen of a Batwing typewriter until today.
It's pretty cool. So I get a lot of people asking if it still works. Can you get ink for it? I'm not 100% sure if you can still get ink for it.
But the wings work perfectly.
It would surprise me if you couldn't find it somewhere.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Repairing this, even though it is in good condition and would work if you found the ink for it, if anything happened to it, repairing this might be next to impossible.
Is this a miniature bell?
Yeah, it would be a bell, so when it goes across.
Oh, nice.
So, and then it's got the measure. So every single part of this has a patent.
Wow. And
it was patented by the Oliver Company for the typewriters. And Oliver made typewriters, I think they still do. They might still do. If they don't, they made them all through the decades. So,
which, if you guys remember on our talk last month when we talked about, or well, not even just necessarily last month, when we talked about Black History Month and Women's International Month, some of the people that we talked about, I'm going to use for an example like this because they didn't necessarily invent the actual items, but they helped patent some items that helped make the item as a whole, which is kind of what I feel like is going on with it, that there was just a bunch of people with a bunch of good ideas, kind of sat down and made up
that's exactly what it is.
Made a good piece of machinery.
Patent dates, that when you come across patent dates, because when you're looking at something that is antique or vintage or old, and you come across patent dates, because that's the only date you can find as patent, that does not mean this item was made at that date.
Right.
That means that this item was patented at that date.
Right.
They became the rights of ownership.
Uh-huh.
So it could have been made decades after.
Sure, and they just needed some time to think about it.
Yeah. So when you are dating something, don't go based solely on the patent. Each patent date and patent number, you can look up the patent number and find it. And you might be able to deduce a time frame from any of that information.
Patent information, sure.
But it is not it doesn't solidify a date of manufacture.
Right.
Just a date of, I had this idea, I patented it. So, so this is another thing I talked about, and then we're going to talk about a few things over there. Does anybody have any questions about their antiques? Now, I didn't publicize this. That's probably why we don't have a huge crowd, because we weren't 100% sure how we were going to run, because you had some things you had to do today. So, which got extended to another day.
Oh, gosh, right? You want to move on to this or the magazine holder?
All right. So this magazine holder is on the cusp of antique.
Sure.
Because check this out. Look at this. It looks like a painter's. Thing, right?
What is the brand name on that?
Well, this is called Chronica.
Nice.
Chronica Republic. This might be a tourist piece, actually.
Nice.
And so if you look here, this dates to about around the 1920s. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that thing. Beautiful. And look at the condition. And this is what I'm saying. Is that you? Oh, is this? And look what I'm saying about condition and taking care of, right? This thing has been conditioned. because the wood is beautiful.
There's not a crack on it.
It's beautiful.
You can tell that they stored it nice as
Yes.
well.
And so, you know, something like this, which is 20s, 30s probably, which puts it just at the cusp of antique, Art Deco period. So this would be at like, I keep forgetting the name of that movie.
Did we talk about it today?
No. It's The Big Party, the big Art Deco movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, oh, that's a good point. Steve, patents had to be updated with every change and every addition or anything. So that patent date may be the date for the change. So the original patent date could be 1812, but then there's another patent date that says of the same thing that says 1903. It's because they did a change.
Yeah, or they like found some way to make it better.
Good call, Steve, for saying that. See?
The Great Gatsby.
1930s, yes. So late 30s. This one, so it's a little bit newer than antique because antique's 100 years, but we're pushing right into that territory over there. Oh, look, you can see my stomach.
But antiques are the only time where you ever take a number and round up.
Right. So yeah, right. Oh, I just turned it.
Oh, it's okay. Just press Facebook.
I was looking at.
Oh, we froze on my end.
Are you guys frozen?
Huh. Let me close it out and see.
Am I frozen to you guys? Can you let me know? I'm going to move your back a little bit so you don't keep looking at my big old tummy. Oh, you're turning sideways now.
Oops.
Okay, so, oh, you're sideways. My goodness.
We are not frozen anymore.
Okay, good. So this is a good one, and it's one of her favorite pieces. First, I'm going to show you the base of this. Look at this elephant.
It's so cute.
Isn't that cool? Okay, so this is a good piece. Isn't that good? Now I'm going to bring you down, and you got your twisted pole, and it is an ashtray. But look at the cornice on it.
Beautiful.
Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. And then, of course, your ashtray part of it. This probably dates around the same time.
Careful of your wrist.
1920s, 1910s. If not, that could even go back into the 1800s. So, Steve, if you want to throw a date, that'd be great. That goes along the lines as this here. And I wanted to show this because it is gorgeous. And I'm going to show you the base of this, if I can. Kind of here. The jadeite. Look at the jadeite on that thing. The jadeite base, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Now what this is a smoking lamp. So it has the tops in here as you can see. So this would hold your cigarettes, the hand-rolled cigarettes, and then you have your ashtray here. And these would be painted with uranium. They do glow a tish.
Want me to help you?
No, I got it.
Are you sure?
It's this wrist. So.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
But thank you. But this is a great antique piece.
Yes, and
It is
the fact that
absolutely
you
gorgeous.
can take the ashtray out effortlessly for very easy and minimalistic cleaning.
Yep, you just pull it out.
I'd feel so
And there
bougie
you
with one
have
of
it.
these.
Isn't that cool? I love it.
I love the jadeite. It's
Late
nice.
1900s?
He said on the elephant ashtray, early 1900s.
Early
late
1900s.
Yeah.
Late 1800s.
Oh, wow,
That's
this
awesome.
is a really interesting shade on the inside. You kind of see how it's got that.
It is. The shade is additional. We just put it on there. It did not come with the shade. It's got the pillow effect
That's
inside.
nice. Yeah, I like that.
So, but it's you know.
It's a beautiful lamp.
It's a beautiful lamp. And speaking of lamps, so what I'm showing you today, because we are mostly vintage, is a lot of the antique stuff that we do now.
Which, David, if you would like to buy a new lamp, I really like this one.
This is another lamp that Steve got. Look at the base of that.
The shade is made out of rice paper.
It's rice paper shade, kind of, but I don't think it's original
Sure.
to this lamp. It could be, because this is more mid-century, whereas the base is more turn of the century.
And I like how this is gold and this is brass.
Yeah. Now, the gold on this is gorgeous. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And then you have your cornices on each end, and it almost gives you the oh, these are angels.
Oh, nice.
The angels. So, you know, when electricity hit, I'm telling you,
And you will notice that this one does not
it has
have...
a replace cord.
Oh, does it really? Okay, noted.
So remember, the main thing I want you to take away today is if you come across old cords and you have doubt, switch them out.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. When in doubt, switch them out.
Jason says, I know you really want to see how these paper lamps look when they're plugged in, but if you plug that in, we're literally going to explode. So do not plug it in.
Explode, but our electricity today, and this is something that I read up on, and I did not know this, and is our electricity output is much different than it was, and it makes sense, is much different than it was back then.
Sure.
It was a much lesser output. So a lot of these lamps that are 1950s and older, even 1950s, 60s even maybe, and back, will need to have their wiring replaced on the outside eventually, if they're not already replaced. Because our wattage put out is a lot higher. And some of the lamps can't handle that enough. Okay, it's like dishwashers. When dishwashers first came out, they were light.
Oh yeah.
You could sit in there and have a nice little rain shower. So putting your Pyrex in there was no big deal.
Right, but now
they take the food off the plates and the skin off the body. Literally. So guess what they're going to take off your Pyrex?
The paint off the Pyrex.
Paint off your Pyrex. They're going to destroy your pots and pans. They're going to do stuff like that. It's meant for vitrified only.
Literally.
So be very cautious with putting that.
Like if your piece of like vintage or antique Pyrex, glass, plastic, or what's Heller made out of? What's that plastic?
That's plastic. Still,
is it just plastic?
Yeah.
That if it says do not microwave, do not dishwash, hand wash only, then you have to take those things seriously.
Let's think about one thing when we're talking about microwaves, when we're talking about caring for your antiques, right? Microwaves made their debut in the late 70s. They became housebound in the early 80s, meaning that every house had them. So if you have dishes from the 60s, guess what those dishes had never been thought of used in?
In a microwave.
In a microwave. And so therefore, they're not made to withstand microwave heat. Microwave heats from the inside out.
And what happens to your pasta or anything cold when you put it in there? It pops.
Right. So you want to be careful. Remember that, and I know it's easy to forget that all the modernism that we have today, all the modern convenience we have today, we're not always around. And we all have dishes, and we all have antiques, and we all have vintage items, even if they're passed down or bought at a thrift shop, that you need to think twice before you plug in or put in the dishwasher.
Or use a scrub daddy on.
Yes.
Like I have a old piece that has flashed paint on it, and me, like a dummy, took the rough side of the rag to clean it, and it scraped the flash paint right off of it.
And I'm not going to lie to you, that's how you learn.
Yes, no, literally. I was pretty
because
sad.
There's such a thing called cold paint, which is a process that was done where they just painted on the outside of it and then was done. They did not fire it after they painted it. They just painted it on top of it. So if you wash it too hard, it comes off.
So maybe it was cold painted instead of flash.
Well, it was a glass.
Yeah.
Then it was flash.
Oh, okay.
Cold painting is only for non-glass items. So now we're going to talk about a funny little item. Okay. So guess what they had back in the day?
So would you say that this is for like medical purposes or pleasure purposes?
It was medical. It was medical pleasure, and not pleasure as in sexual, but pleasure as in just like feeling good on your body. So this is a vibrator, a Polar Club electric vibrator. This would be an antique, probably, or close to, and it's hilarious, I know, but it is for actual massage.
You know, like the handheld body massage guns? Yep. This is exactly what this is. It even has the little attachments for like your shoulders or
Check
your
this thing out. Okay. Isn't that the coolest thing? The Polar Bear Club? And it works too. Again, you've got this cord. Now there's no, I would still get it rewired if possible, but we did test it to make sure it works, and it does work. A little on and off switch, so you only have one speed. But check this out. I mean, this is going to be powerful.
Is this Connecticut?
That is Connecticut, USA. So this was made in the USA.
So I really like, that one has it on there. This one does not because there's no space for it.
Right.
But
so does the bottom of the box or the back of the box have any writing on it? Or how about inside?
It only has L2730. That's it. And there's a star on the back
okay.
with a embossed logo, but it's barely there.
So what I'm looking for is a date, and there's a patent number. There is no zip code, so it's pre-1962. I'm going to guess, based on just the decorations on the box and the way it's done, that this is early turn of the century. So this is probably 19 teens to 20s, I would assume. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. But, you know, electricity started in the late 1800s and became prevalent in the mid-1900s.
Oh, I didn't even notice the other pictures on the other side of the box.
Yeah, it's all medical based. I wouldn't use this for anything else. But it's got pictures all along it, like of her doing his back. Here we have him doing her back. Actually, the maid is doing her back. That's nice. And so this tells you a lot. These pictures tell you a lot.
Steve said 1920s-ish.
1920-ish. So these pictures actually tell you a lot when you look at this, because here you have a maid doing her back, right? So that tells me that you have to be somewhat influential to have that.
To have one of those. Heck yeah,
right.
Expensive.
It also tells me that he was a little too busy to, yeah, because the maid is doing her here, and he's doing himself here, but then you've got him doing her, but not the maid. Okay, so, and I'm sure he's doing the maid, but, but, so this tells me a lot on the age based on the pictures, and that's how you can tell.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, number B87.
That's probably a stock number.
I was going to say, is this like...
Item number.
Item number.
So, if you were to order this again online... Oh, did you know? One in which... I wish I could find my sheet of paper. I don't know.
Did you leave it in the back room?
No, I don't.
That was the last place you went with it.
I don't know. And I don't even know what the other one was. What was the other one? I don't think I read it to you.
The hair. The barber.
Oh, did you know that, yeah, but who was it?
I'm sure if you tell the story that somebody will know.
One of the, I don't have my paperwork, so, and I think it was one of the astronauts. So I'm going to say Buzz Aldrin, but I think it was the other one. Anyways,
Dang.
he threatened to sue his barber due to the fact that his barber was selling his hair. And what was funny is Buzz Aldrin. That's who it was. So Buzz Aldrin threatened to sue his barber for selling pieces of his hair.
Sure.
So in 2016, it was a threat, so he never got sued. So he took the rest of Buzz Aldrin's hair and the chair he sat in and sold it for $38,000.
Imagine.
In 2016. Hilarious. Anyways, but what I was telling her, those of you from Michigan and those of you who know, SS Kresge, who knows who SS Kresge is?
I love this fact.
Who knows who SS Kresge is?
Noel Armstrong.
Oh, that's who it was. Who said that?
Steve.
Yeah, Noel Armstrong.
With his big brain.
Yeah. Okay, so SS Kresge is the K in Kmart. Okay. SS Kresge was the man responsible for developing Kmart.
Nice.
He had SS Kresge stores, and then he went to Kmart. Kmart went worldwide. Kmart's world headquarters was here in Michigan.
Where in Michigan?
In 16 and Big Beaver, or 16 is Big Beaver, at Crooks and Big Beaver. And one of the things that we were talking about with the Did You Know that she wasn't aware of is Sears bought Kmart, and that's why it went away, because Sears went away. The thing is Sears was known as the largest in-home shopping ability. So you could sit, they made themselves known as the magazine order, yes. Right? You could get the big Sears catalog order, go through, order from home.
But let's just say, God forbid, you lost your magazine and you wanted to buy online. Too bad, so sad.
They couldn't convert from a magazine to online, and it caused them to close. I don't know how the largest, I'm going to go on a tirade. I just don't understand how the largest catalog company can't move their catalog from paper to online successfully.
The only thing that I could think is if the CEO is like 100 years old and like didn't know how to use the internet.
What they did was they hired the wrong CEO.
People, for sure.
Is what they did. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of the stuff that you see today came from those houses. Check this out. Check this out. Isn't that thing beautiful? Solid glass hanging in there, hangs upside down like so. Isn't this thing gorgeous? I mean, it's pink, people. It's pink. It is beautiful. Isn't it? We got a bunch of them from there. You'd love it all. So anyways, so when you care for, or those pictures, when you care for your antiques, it's all about how you care for them. Remember, paper do not put in direct sunlight. These are pictures from, look at these. Aren't they fabulous? Here's a cute one. Look at the two boys in there.
These are so cute. These, with this picture right here.
The boys?
Yep.
Look at that. And then this family here. This is back in the day. So those of you who think that you have it rough now, imagine being this family who lived in the turn of the century. You know what I mean? And look at this.
She looks mad.
They all look unfortunate because they had to stand there for 30 years to get their picture taken.
And wait for the picture,
at the beach. These are all antique. And then, of course, the cabinet cards.
And I wonder if these are the same boys, huh?
They might be. They could
This
be.
is so cute. I didn't even notice that there was another set of twin boys right here. That's so cute. I love these.
So if you have any questions on how to care for a certain antique, what to do, please let us know, because I may not, if I don't know, I'll find out for you. Steve's mind is full of stuff like that.
I was going to say, the store is filled with such smart gentlemen that I'm sure that if one of them could figure it out, thank you, that if one of us could not figure it out, that they 100%.
Oh. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I will let you have that title gladly.
No, I'm kidding.
But they will definitely have some type of resolution for you, because when you look at vintage and antique items, you cannot just take any type of cleaner and slap it on there.
No.
And you will learn that the hard way if you unfortunately just took a bottle of Clorox one day and decided to wipe down a specific piece of wood or metal.
Your best bet, if you have a question, oh, is that going to hurt it? Don't use it.
Exactly.
Your best bet, soap and water if necessary, on something that can take soap and water. Dawn always works great on metal, stuff like that.
And make sure that your rag is not sopping wet.
No.
Like, it needs to be damp enough to be able to get the grime and the dirt off, but you never want to oversaturate your vintage and antique items with water.
And what we will do is we'll do a more in-depth show on maybe 5 items, and we'll do it monthly maybe on one of the shows, and how to care for certain things.
That sounds great. I like that.
We can do that. Now, if you guys have any ideas or want to know what to...
David said they had billions of dollars. They could have put it towards marketing.
Look at this. These are from the late 1800s. They are little toys that the little kids would play with. They're just little houses and such. We have a ton of them over here.
Of people,
of
houses,
little people
animals.
And houses. And these were the toys of the turn of the century. And these are the things that they played with. When we are... You know, our hands are going crazy through our phones and our internet. Imagine the days that these were what you played with. We have a whole bunch of them over here.
Those are cool too. And
they're cool just to set up.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, there's a whole world over there with animals and all sorts of stuff.
I like the big cow in the back.
Now, these are not antique, but I have never seen these before.
Is this a spoon and fork?
It's a spoon and fork. So who remembers the 70s spoon and forks? But what's different about this is it's Don Quixote. Look at this. Don Quixote, his little friend.
I'm pretty sure we did show the sun lamp, Steve.
Oh, no, we did not. Okay, let me grab the sun lamp.
Right here?
Yeah, the big one. I don't know if you're going to be able to lift that. And we'll make that the creme de la creme. So this is what he's talking about. And check this out with the copper on it. Look at this thing. Isn't that thing beautiful? Now, again, you've got the bad cord. And what I mean for that, can you bring that over?
unravel that under there on the bottom for you.
I see. Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to bring you a little bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Ah, say drop it. Okay.
Perfect.
So check the cord out. This cord needs to be replaced.
Gabby, I said the same thing when I seen it too.
What?
It's beautiful.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's gorgeous. Look at this thing. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I got it to really get you to see it here. You see it? I'm going to lower this.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to lower this, or I'm going to do this so that you can see it.
I'm like, I can lift it somewhat.
So, look at the base of that thing. With the on and off switch at the bottom so you can use your foot. And then up top, look at the gorgeousness. Now, that's heavy, isn't it?
It's very heavy.
Yeah. And you can see the ball and piston on there. That's right at the thingy. No, right there.
Here.
Yeah. Right here. You see the ball?
Oh.
Oops. You
Is
see
this
the
to
ball?
swivel it?
This is to swivel it. Now, it needs a little oil, but as you can see, it swivels.
Nice.
It swivels.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
Is this a coat rack right here?
Yeah, that would be probably for the coat.
Imagine,
This is a
guys.
heat or a towel, actually.
A towel?
Because
That's
this is a heat lamp, so you get out of the shower and stand under it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's
or
so
get a
cool.
sunburn or whatever, so you could hang your towel here. But isn't this thing gorgeous? Now, you don't come across these things that often.
No, that thing's awesome.
And the copper is gorgeous on it.
Heck yeah, it is.
And it's just, I mean, it's just a piece in and of itself.
Oh, absolutely. We could literally talk about this for a whole show.
So that's everything. And then I did the little thing on the call boxes and stuff I did a little video. So check back on the videos to see those.
Is that posted on Instagram as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So anyways, it's 7:30 already.
Oh, wow, no
I'm
way.
just flying by, yes.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tidbit today.
I hope so too. And this was just an idea of different antiques and and stuff like that, and basic information on how to care for things. But we will get more detailed. And please, if you have any questions about how to care for something, how to clean something,
how to store it,
how to make sure that your antiques last for another generation. Please shoot us some questions, let us know,
Thanks,
and we will come up with it.
Yeah.
And we will come up with the best answer for you between all of our heads.
But I got to give you my spiel before we leave.
Yes, you do.
Like, comment, and subscribe. You guys already know the deal. We're still working on getting some followers on TikTok so we can start to move our lives over there. But always let us know in the comments if you have any type of questions, concerns, comments, or maybe you just want to say what's up. You can let us know down below.
Yes, absolutely.
Or you can even swing over to our YouTube and Instagram as well and ask us some questions there.
And we are still working on our Mythbuster show.
Yes, because that is just so many things that we have to talk about and debunk and just make sure we're ready to
answer your questions.
Yeah, literally.
So if you have questions on the amount of lead that's in things, the amount of anything.
Yeah, literally. Again, we're going to talk about the number one, which is Beanie Babies.
That we don't use.
Yeah, that we don't use. We don't carry Beanie Babies.
No.
But we're going to talk about them anyway just because we get so many questions. And then, again, touching base on what Jason said, we're going to debunk the fact that people think you're going to die if you eat off your uranium glass.
Because you won't.
If you're physically taking bites out of your plate every time you use it, considerable, but probably not.
But if you're taking bites out of your plates, then...
Oh, yeah, you got to let them know about Saturday. Bombshell Saturday?
That is actually, oh yes, on Saturday, Time Warp Vintage and Pretty Little Things, along with Lana Lenore, will be doing a
comic book pinup contest.
Yes, but we are the gift sponsors, so we are so excited. We will be there. It'll be fun, and you'll get to see Lana and
you.
I believe that. Lindy's going to be there as well.
Oh, nice.
So you'll get to see them. So we are going to be working with more and more pinup and working with the pinup contest being involved. So look forward to it. This Saturday in Jackson, it will be fantastic.
Be there or be square.
And come dressed up as your greatest pinup villain.
That would be awesome to see. Better take pictures.
I know. It's going to be fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. So, please, if you're in the area, pop into the Bombshell pinup contest.
Yep.
And or come on in and see us, because you can pick up Pretty Little Things jewelry here too.
Yep.
And we're working on a show with her too, so it'll be fun.
Yay! I love that. Happy Time Warp Tuesdays.
Yes, you guys have a great night, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.